I'm Kerry Peters, a recognized thought leader in the Microsoft Dynamics community and a Microsoft MVP for business applications. Welcome to the Get Your New View podcast. Keep listening to learn how we work with frustrated Business Central and NAV users who struggle to use their system and find the answers that they need. We teach them to truly understand how the system can support their business processes to make immediate and lasting improvements. As a result, they get more done in less time, make better business decisions, and even love their system. Welcome to this episode of the Get Your New View podcast. Today, I have a special guest, Shawn Sissenwein, who is one of our senior consultants, and she's here to talk to us today about advanced reporting and Power BI as a phase 2 project. Shawn, why do companies put these type of projects off until phase 2?
I think a lot of times companies put them off because there's so many reporting needs and so many different reporting tools that people are using. So going through that whole process of documenting, finding out who's running what reports, sometimes is just a big task for the organization to do when they're trying to implement a system.
Yeah. Is it difficult to put advanced reporting in Power BI into place after go live?
It is not difficult. One of the things I would, try to think about as we're building, you've got categories and different things as you're putting your system in place. So having an idea of what kind of reporting you might need. Also, looking at dimensions and some of those settings in Business Central are sometimes nice to have upfront, even though maybe we don't have the reporting tool in place, but knowing that these are the categories and different business units that you're going to want to report on, it would be helpful.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what do companies not know about advanced reporting and Power BI that you would like to tell them?
No, I think a couple of the things is sometimes just start out small and build a report or a data set first and not try to, build a very complex report or a lot of reports, because then I feel like you just never really get off the ground. So if you document all of your reports and keep in mind Excel spreadsheets, all the different things that your company is reporting on, and get a catalog of those, and then maybe pick one area, so that way you can start building a data set and report off of that. The other thing I like to do, at least with the visuals, is a lot of companies, I think they don't necessarily know what they want to see on a dashboard or visual. And so that's why I like to just start back on the data set and build one, and then start putting some ideas together on that visual. So that way you can start visualizing what you need, unless you already have something in place or you already know exactly what you want. But I found that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, I know that I hear with a lot of projects, people saying, well, show me what I can have. And we may have somebody on their side saying, well, I need to know what you want. So bridging that conversation with some examples and a plan and figuring out what is needed there is definitely part of the success of this type of project. So do you have a customer story for me about somebody who's put advanced reporting or Power BI reporting into place recently?
I do. And, one of the things I wanted to mention too is when we're building the data set, even though there might just be a few fields that the customer, like you've asked to have, knowing that, okay, I know what we want to accomplish, then maybe you need a couple of additional fields. And what I found is I was really glad in one particular case that I did that. And I went ahead and brought the fields into the data set, because after we showed the customer said, oh, it'd be really nice if we could do X, Y, Z. And luckily I had the data and I'm like, okay, perfect. We'll just put it on.
There you go.
So sometimes it's just knowing, what people want, even though they're not sure they know what they want.
Yep. No, I hear you. Do you have phase 2 projects that have been on your to-do list for way too long? Did your team ever really get good training to understand how to use your business software? Do you think you could use more features of your software if you just knew how? Are you frustrated with inefficiency that never seems to get better? Do you suspect that there just has to be a better way, but you don't know what that is? We believe every company can benefit from increased efficiency and higher utilization of their software, and that it's possible to have fun while learning exactly how to do that. The experts at NewView Strategies work with frustrated Business Central and NAV users who struggle to use their system and find the answers they need. We teach them to truly understand how the system can support their business processes to make immediate and lasting improvements. As a result, they get more done in less time, make better business decisions, and even love their system. Please contact us at getyournewview.com to get started. Can you talk a little bit about why people should invest in Power BI or advanced reporting versus what they might already be using today? What are the primary benefits of those tools?
It really just depends. I think having a consistent platform, I've noticed a lot of times, I might date a little bit, but I went into a company, this was just a couple of years ago, and they said, we have one Access database that the finance team is reporting on. And when I went in to analyze it, I came back and I said, the shipping department has one, AP has one. Every single department had an Access database that they were pulling the data into and reporting. So first of all, it's not efficient to have 10 Access databases pulling the data. Second of all, you're not going to necessarily have consistent reports because one database you might be tweaking a little bit different than the other one. And so you're going to start delivering reports to executives and the business that, yes, although the data is correct, it's just maybe it's displayed a little bit differently. So a lot of times that will appear that the data is not correct in the system. So it is nice to invest in that. I also, it's nice to have one platform, or at least one area where the data is coming into a data warehouse. So that way it's getting cleansed and the reporting is coming out in a consistent manner.
Yep. So if a company is going to prepare to do a project like this, what should they get ready to do?
The first thing I would do is back to that catalog, the reporting catalog. I have found that that's the best way to start, and really start interviewing everybody on the team to make sure that you have accounted for all the different reports. There's a lot of, maybe it's not a printed report or a report that's getting sent to you on a regular basis. It might be Excel. It's those kind of things that you're doing on a consistent basis that's taking you a lot of time to do. So being able to interview the users is really helpful, because you may have someone say, yeah, I'm putting this Excel spreadsheet together. It's taking me 2 hours a week, maybe a couple hours a month. Those are the kind of things that we want to say, okay, if you're spending that amount of time, then let's create a report for you. So that way it saves time.
Yeah. No, and I like that very much. Thinking about the amount of time that it takes you to create those reports today, especially so many of those manual reports that we see with companies where they're cobbling them together from a couple of different systems, and thinking about how just being able to run that report from Power BI instead of doing that manual work will be a huge time savings and make those reports more self-service for the rest of the company, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's one thing I wanted to point on too. I had one customer that they had a different reporting service. Only part of the business knew how to pull the reports. And so when the accounting department needed reports, they were actually going to the other department to pull the reports. Well, after going about this for a couple of years, the senior vice president came to me and said, I need a tool that our team can use. And so we actually put in business Power BI alongside the other reporting, which wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do, but they wanted to be trained. So what I would say is back to that self-service and train the users to be able to pull that data so they can get that information. That will keep you from them spending all this time pulling data from 6 different areas in the system to put something together, because they now have the skill to use the tool that you're implementing.
Yep. Wonderful. So how does NewView make it easy to implement advanced reporting or Power BI in phase 2?
How I make it easy, easier, I guess, nothing's easy, but is really, understanding the reporting and some of the capabilities that you can do. So that way we can try to come in and pull data, show you different ways of looking at your data, and helping you kind of come up with your the visuals, your dashboards, your different reports. That I think a lot of times that's of benefit. So that way you save time up front. We can go ahead and pull that data. The other thing is doing, some data cleansing and data modeling and just making sure that we're getting the data in an efficient manner, and that it's coming across and the reports are running in a timely manner, because there's ways of doing things. But if you do them completely downstream, your report may take 15 minutes to run versus we can do it upstream and save time, have it run on the server versus at the client side. And those are some of the things that we can help with.
Yeah, I love it. If this is something that sounds interesting to you and your company, contact us today. It's super easy. Just send a quick email to info@getyournewview.com and we'll set up a quick 30-minute call to talk about how you can get phase 2 projects like this done at your company. Did your team ever really get good training to understand how to use your business software? Do you think you could use more features of your software if you just knew how? Are you frustrated with inefficiency that never seems to get better? Do you suspect that there just has to be a better way, but you don't know what that is? We believe every company can benefit from increased efficiency and higher utilization of their software, and that it's possible to have fun while learning exactly how to do that. The experts at NewView Strategies work with frustrated Business Central and NAV users who struggle to use their system and find the answers they need. We teach them to truly understand how the system can support their business processes to make immediate and lasting improvements. As a result, they get more done in less time, make better decisions, and even love their system. Please contact us at getyournewview.com to get started.